Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's Joe, and it's time for Pocket with Joe over here on Sports Grid TV. We got 6 games on the slate today. Make some money depending on where you put it last night and some of those player props, some of the first periods. So, some great plus money in those bets. Overall, kind of a hit and miss a day, hitting about 50%, but the ones we did hit, great plus money on those. So, big shout out to everyone here. We're going to go over all 6 of these games today, give you my bets and props in not both of them, all of them, and what I'm liking. So, you guys, let's make some freaking money. See all your comments coming in, college basketball comments coming in as well. Thanks to everyone who dropped those college basketball plays yesterday. We hit a lot of those, so that was really great to see. Let's jump right into the first game here. We have, and I'm just going to pull up current odds. Now, all current odds are over at FanDuel. I should have had that open before we kicked off here. We're going to look at the first game, the Minnesota Wild taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Now, I got to warn you guys, I am liking dogs today. There's a couple of favorites I'm leaning on, but I do think the dogs can come out barking, not the Sharks. So that's a different animal, but looking here at the Minnesota Wild versus the Buffalo Sabres, I can't get behind the Wild. I do think this is one where you've got to look at the home ice advantage of the Buffalo Sabres. They're coming in at minus 115, so not heavy favorites in this one, minus 104 here for the Minnesota Wild, total of 6.5. Now, that 6.5 is juiced to that over at minus 128. I do like this one to go over that number, especially because I believe in the Buffalo Sabres. And that's the team I'm going to isolate. You guys know I like isolating certain teams for their totals to that over, and looking at the Buffalo Sabres team total to that over 3.5 coming in at plus 104. I just don't trust the defense here of the Minnesota Wild. This defense is giving up too many high danger opportunities. They're allowing 4 goals per game and 32.5 shots on goal. Now, their kill is basically non-existent, allowing only stopping 65% of the opponent's power play. So look here for strong goaltending out of the Buffalo Sabres. I like Levi coming into net. We've got Gustafson here for the Minnesota Wild. I also expect this team to be able to really rack up those goals. We know how strong Tage Thompson has come out. Alex Touche also has been phenomenally strong. He's been able to generate those turnovers. A lot of these players generating these turnovers, quick plays out there on the ice and able to move down the ice efficiently. So I like what we're seeing out of this team. You can look at the money line, the over 3.5, I do think is a strong way to go. Now, the first period, first goal out of the Buffalo Sabres, something I do like here. You're getting at plus 120. It means they have to score first coming into this game. They can't score second, you won't win this bet. But for them to score first at plus 120, I think there's so much value. The Minnesota Wild also are on the back to back, and this is not favorable for them. That's why I do like the Buffalo Sabres to come out here and score first, with the Wild's defense being tired in this game. On that back to back, they're 2-7 in their last 9. They're also in a 3-4 day situation, which they got 0-4 in their last 4. So, with me not trusting the defense, with the Buffalo Sabres off that overtime loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, I expect them to come out nice and strong in this game. Get on that scoreboard right away, cashes that plus 120 on the first goal of the game, and then to continue to get these goals here on Gustafson, over 3.5, that team total at plus 104, I absolutely love as well. First period over 1.5. Yeah, at minus 145. I do think the first period over 1.5 is a solid way to look at this game. I just don't love that juice. And I don't know if I can trust the Minnesota Wild here to score on Levi to come out in this one. So it's something I'm avoiding. That first goal for the Buffalo Sabres, I like a lot better, coming in at plus 120. You find it hard to trust Levi. I don't know. Levi can be up and down. I do think this is a nice one here to look at Levi to be good. Now, Alex Touche has scored a goal, at least one goal in the last 2 games. So he's definitely someone to look at. The over strong trends between these two. But like I said, with the Wild here on the second night of the back to back, not sure how much they're going to put up for us. So Buffalo's team total to that over is where I'm looking. Now they have the Pens on deck tomorrow. This is their first night of a back-to-back. They will be on the road tomorrow versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we'll be breaking down that game tomorrow. Make sure you turn on your notifications, you guys. Not sure what time the show will run tomorrow. It will run before any of the games kick off. So turn on those notifications so that you know when we are going live here on IG and Twitter on Sports Grid TV. So have those turned on. Okay, the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Florida Panthers. Current odds on FanDuel, Carolina minus 137. I think the wrong team's favored. The Florida Panthers here, home dog plus 114 with Bobrovsky in goal is where I'm going. Now, Ranta has been confirmed here for the Carolina Hurricanes, and we do like what we've seen out of Ranta. He's got a 2.83 goals against average, save percentage of 0.876. But that being said, I don't trust this team that much. This is the first night of the back-to-back with the Lightning on deck for them tomorrow. Now they're coming off a couple of great wins in overtime. They got the overtime win versus the Sabres and overtime win versus the Islanders. But I do like the Florida Panthers here at home. Bobrovsky is confirmed in goal. Now he is a 2.71 goals against average. We look at his save percentage as a 0.904. And I'm going to take him over 28.5 save shots on goal. That's coming in at minus 112. We know the Carolina Hurricanes are second overall in the league at getting these shots on goal. They have the strong power play. They're averaging 34.6. The Florida Panthers actually do a really solid job at limiting opponents' ability to get these shots on goal, allowing only 28 shots on goal, which is 27th. But in this one, with the strength of the offense here of Carolina, I expect them to put up at least 35 shots on goal, and I don't think Bobrovsky allows a lot in. We look at Bobrovsky versus the Carolina Hurricanes in the playoffs last season. In the Eastern Conference Finals, he did so phenomenally well. He went 4-0 in the 4 games versus Carolina. His save percentage was a 0.966 versus the Carolina Hurricanes in those 4 games, and he had a 1.12 goals against average. I'm looking for Bobrovsky to come out with that fire here. Now, we've seen the Florida Panthers win their last 2 games. They got the overtime win versus the Capitals with Sam Reinhart being able to get that goal within 15 seconds. This is game 1 of a back-to-back for the Florida Panthers as well. They've got a game on Sunday. It's versus the Chicago Blackhawks. So not the back-to-back situation here. I do think Florida with Bobrovsky and net is the only way I can go with the value we are getting on them. So give me them on the money line. They are so solid on their home ice, 4-1 on their home ice so far this season. And we look at the Carolina Hurricanes, 4-5 on the road, 2-7 on the road on that puck line. I'm tempted to actually take the Florida Panthers here, reverse puck line, laying the 1.5 with them being the dogs. I wouldn't take them plus the 1.5, but I'm flirting with that reverse puck line, getting us so much value for them in this one. I think they can come out and win this big. Now, Ranta is a solid, and this defense is limiting opponents to 25.6 shots on goal per game. Still allowing that 3.38 because we've had some goaltending issues here, but I do think this is one where Florida can get the win. I like the first period over 1.5. The juice is high on that. It's coming in at minus 142. Now, the Panthers' first period has cashed for us the last 2 games on that puck line. I see no reason why not to do it again. You can take them on the money line and still get value. On the money line in the first period here for the Florida Panthers is plus 108. So definitely something I am going to be betting in this one. Sam Reinhart has 15 points on the season. He's been absolutely phenomenal. We know Matthew Tkachuk is strong. If you're looking for a player to look at for the Carolina Hurricanes here, Sebastian Aho has been phenomenal. I do think this one goes over that total. I think this is another game where we can see the Florida Panthers score the majority of the goals, but I do expect Carolina to get a couple past Bobrovsky. I'm not looking for that shutout, so I would go over this. I have more confidence, though, in the Florida Panthers team total to that over than counting on Carolina. The next game on the board, you guys, we have the Washington Capitals taking on the New Jersey Devils. Now, the Devils, almost a $2 favorite, coming in at minus 194 right now over on FanDuel, plus 160 here for the Washington Capitals. Total 6.5 at minus 112 to the over, minus 108 to the under. If you like the Washington Capitals on the puck line, +1.5 is -146. It's getting high in the juice, but still in a range where I would be willing to bet that. My struggles here with the Washington Capitals is their inability to score. This team is only averaging 2 goals per game. You have a New Jersey Devils team that absolutely can fire and fire at will. They're averaging 3.83 goals per game, third best overall in the league, and 33.1 shots on goal. Best power play converting on 41.7%. So the Washington Capitals get in that box. We're going to see the New Jersey Devils pull away in this game. So that is my fear of doing anything on that puck line with the Washington Capitals. That being said, the Washington Capitals do limit their penalties, only averaging right around 8.2 penalties minutes per game. So they won this last matchup. These two teams just played in the end of October, like around the 24th, 25th. We saw the Washington Capitals win that one 6-4. So the Capitals know how to beat the New Jersey Devils. I just don't know if they can do it in this one. I think the Devils come out strong on their home ice. Now we know Jack Hughes is still out with a shoulder injury, but this team really does play next man up. Tyler Toffoli and Jasper Bratt have been absolutely phenomenal in Jack Hughes's absence, and I do think they can lead this team. Now, the Devils are off that loss to the Colorado Avalanche 6-3. I'm expecting them to come out with fire to start this one. We did see the Capitals lose in overtime to the Florida Panthers 4-3. They had 28 shots on goal in that game. 23 hits. They were super physical out there on the ice. This is the first night of a back-to-back for them here. They have the Islanders on deck. Now, I think both of these teams are kind of in situations where it's a look ahead to that next game. The last time the Washington Capitals faced the Islanders, that was back on just November 2nd. The Islanders shut them out 3-0. And then we have here the New Jersey Devils. They've had a couple days rest coming into this one. This is a one-off home game. They do have 4 games on the road with the Jets on deck on Tuesday. There's been some break here, but I do think they're looking forward to getting out on the road. A little hesitant to go big on this one. I do think the Devils at home should be able to get the win. With them almost being a $2 favorite, got to find some value yet to cover that puck line at home. With the road trip coming up, I'm kind of hesitant to take that puck line. I do think you look at them over 3.5 goals coming in at -116, I think is a really strong way to go. And this one, 5-2 in the last 7 to that over. Each of the Devils' last 8 home games have gone over that total. So backing the team total for the Devils here is where I really want to go, with the Washington Capitals just not being the team that has been scoring a lot of goals. Okay, we got to talk. The Calgary Flames taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. You guys know I'm really hard on my own team. So no homer picks here, but I do think Calgary can absolutely get the win tonight. They're coming in as a dog versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Calgary's on the road +130 on that money line. It's where my money's going. -156 here on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Total of 6.5, -128 to that over. If you like Toronto to get the big win, laying the 1.5 is +146 right now on FanDuel. I'm not seeing Toronto get this win. You've got to remember this is kind of like a homecoming here for a lot of the players of the Calgary Flames going to Toronto. Kadri played for the Toronto Maple Leafs for what, 10 seasons. This team will have friends and family there. Even Connor Zary, the new kid brought up from the AHL, talking about how his brother lives out there, should be at the game. Family and friends will be there. And the connection Kadri and Zary have made out there on the ice is phenomenal. I love what we're seeing out of this team getting their last 2 wins. It's like a new life has been breathed into Calgary. Now, Noah Hanifin, someone to look at for insane value to get the anytime goal. He's got a goal in the last 2 games, +750 for Noah Hanifin here to get a goal tonight. It's just a little sprinkle, you guys, with him getting goals in the last 2. But I look back at him playing Toronto last season. We saw that one game he was able to get 2 beautiful goals. He's a defenseman here, so that's why you're getting so much value I would look at Kadri and Azari out here as well to be able to get those points out there, to get the goals to come on the board. Now, Majapani is from the Toronto area as well. Mackenzie Weegar, like the list goes on. And I really do think Calgary will. While they won't have total support in the building, they'll have friends and family there. And we also look at what Huska, the head coach of the Calgary Flames, said on Wednesday. And this is his quote: "Every time I've been to Toronto or Montreal, we seem to get our best out of our players, and I'm expecting that trend to continue." It is so right. Calgary, when they travel, taking on Toronto, taking on Montreal, this team has sort of a different outlook, I guess, taking on these teams. We really do get strong plays. Now, you can look at a couple different angles for this one. I could see this one going to overtime, being a 4-3 a style game. I'd look at those players for the player props. I'd look at Calgary on the money line. Huberto, you've got to expect, after Huberto was benched in the third period of that last game, for him to come out with some fire, with some passion. We haven't seen passion out of Huberto, and I think that is the biggest problem for him. He's not getting out there. He's not giving up that passion. Now, Toronto has been giving up those goals. They've been giving up 4+ goals at home in these games. Both of these teams absolutely need to find consistency, and that's one thing they're not doing out there. Now, Calgary's coming in off 2 wins. We know the Toronto Maple Leafs are coming off a loss versus the Senators. Wall is expected in goal, or sorry, confirmed in goal for them. I do like what we've seen out of Joseph Wall, but I do think Calgary will find a way to penetrate the back of his net. Markstrom expected here for Calgary. Now, it is vital for the Calgary Flames that Markstrom stands on his head the second they come out of the gate of this game, because we know in the last one, Calgary had to play catch up, and Calgary can't be in that situation. Markstrom has to come out and not let in those soft goals to start this game. That being said, we know Toronto is going to score in this one. Toronto has so many strong playmakers. Austin Matthews will come out phenomenally strong. And Morgan Riley on defense really needs to show up against Calgary to limit them here. He's got to have more support on that blue line. We need to see more out of the players of Toronto that are just weak defensively so far this season. But I think both of these teams are going to be so eager to get that win. William Nylander, phenomenal here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, 6 goals, 15 assists in 20 games versus the Calgary Flames. So if you're looking at a player for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I would look at William Nylander here to come out strong. Now, these two teams trend to that under. Goaltending has to be spot on for both of these teams. I don't know if I would take this one over, but I would take that first period over 1.5. Hey guys, we are back. Hopefully, we last this time. I'm not sure what is happening to the internet in my area, so huge apologies, but thank you to everyone who has stuck around. We finished the show over on IG. I did not realize that we weren't still live here on Twitter, so I apologize, everyone, but thank you for everyone who stuck around with me. We were breaking down the Calgary Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just to recap my bets in those ones, I'm looking for Calgary to come out strong. I am expecting Calgary to win this game. I'm taking Calgary on the money line at plus 130. I think the over 1.5 in the first period will cash, but it's too juice. Both teams to score at plus 148 is something I would look at. I am expecting, though, these goaltenders to come out strong. So, not my favorite bet of this game. I do like the player props, especially for Kadri and Zari in this game. Kadri, a former Maple Leaf player himself, coming out here for Calgary. Noah Hanovan just for the value at plus 750 for that anytime goal as well. Ryan Huska expecting this team to play elite hockey out there. Vladar in net. Okay, Vladar in net. I am not concerned at all. And did you guys hear AHL Dustin Wolfie, as we call him here in Calgary, is on this trip. They have brought him up, so I would love to see Wolfie come out nice and strong. He probably will get a start tomorrow versus the Senators. Let's move on to the next game. Well, we have strong internet at the moment. Keep your fingers crossed, you guys. I don't know what's happening here in Calgary. Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Now the Flyers coming in at minus 120. The Anaheim Ducks at plus 100. Total 6.5 at minus 112 to the under. I'm hearing Carter Hart is back, and let me know if you guys have seen confirmation of any other goalie in net, because I did hear rumors that he wasn't feeling his best. So Carter Hart versus John Gibson. I do think this is an under game all day long. John Gibson has been phenomenally strong in net, and we know the Philadelphia Flyers really aren't putting up that pressure on opposing goaltenders. Now, this defense is really solid no matter who is behind them. The defense holding opponents to 26 shots on goal per game, second best overall in the league. Carolina being the best team there in those numbers. Now, when we look at the Ducks, they are allowing those opportunities. But like I said, John Gibson has been standing tall in net. I like his ability to continue to stand tall in this one. He's got a 2.41 goals against average with a save percentage of 0.921. And with Carter Hart back, we love his numbers. Urson in net now. Yeah, okay. So Urson is in net. I still do think no matter what, this one stays under that total. It does take me off the Philadelphia Flyers on that money line to get the win, though. I just like the under 6.5 in this game. The under has hit in the last 5 meetings in Anaheim. We know this Ducks team comes out strong defensively, and the Flyers defense is strong at limiting those shots on goal. So give me the under in this one. Last game on the board, you guys. You know you want to hear what I'm betting between the San Jose Sharks and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Edmonton lost last night to the Sharks. Pitiful effort out of Edmonton. We could talk all day about what is wrong with the Edmonton Oilers. There are so many things wrong with this team. Their strong forwards aren't playing both sides of the puck. I don't know. It's almost like they look lazy out there, undisciplined. They are getting these shots. They're not getting those high danger shots that can sink. They are absolutely struggling out there. The Vegas Golden Knights on the opposite side of the spectrum. Logan Thompson being phenomenally strong. This team averaging 3.57 goals per game and 29.9 shots on goal, only allowing 2.29 and 30.5 shots on goal. To think the Ducks could come in here and upset them has a minus, what is it, 400? They're plus 385 here for the Sharks, minus 520 for the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't see the upset coming. And while I would love to see that storyline continue, the Sharks getting 2 wins, I just can't get there. But you guys know that puck line, even the puck line here, minus 1.5 at minus 184, isn't something I'm willing to bet the Vegas Golden Knights on. The Vegas Golden Knights in the first period, though, I think is a very strong bet. Vegas is in the top 10 of scoring in that first period. While we look at the San Jose Sharks, this team struggles in that first period right out of the gate. So Vegas on the puck line, first period, laying the half of goals, minus 118. We're not getting the greatest plus money here, but If you think Vegas, off those last couple of losses, is going to take it out on the Sharks in that first period, and that be the highest scoring period for the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that because I think they come out for war right out of the gate. The Vegas Golden Knights, highest scoring period being their first is plus 400, and I'm willing to put a little bit of money on it. If you want to look at any of those other periods, you are still getting plus money on them having the highest scoring in those periods, but you're not getting the plus 400. So well, you guys, I don't know what's happening with the internet connections. My deepest apologies here. Let's quickly fly through this Vegas game. I'm going to look at Vegas' high scoring period to be their first period to come out with a bit of revenge here on the Sharks. After Vegas has lost their last two, they're going to take their frustrations out on this poor Sharks team. Plus 400 for Vegas to have their highest scoring period in the first. I also like Vegas. No blizzard in Calgary, just stupid internet right now. Vegas, first period, over 1.5 goals coming in at plus 174. That's my favorite bet of this game. Give me two goals out of Vegas in that first period, plus 174. Great plus money. You guys, thanks for hanging with me for this show. I will put some bookmarks up. You can jump back and forth. The goals are coming for the Vegas Golden Knights in this game. So apologies for all the technical issues. I'm not sure what is happening. My internet and everything says it's at full strength, so maybe a little bit of issues with the streaming program that I am using today. That normally is the case. So you guys, all the best in all of your bets. I hope you make some money on the ice tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Turn on those notifications so that you know when we go live. You guys have a good one. Thanks for joining me here on Pocket with Joe on Sports Grid TV.